Yo, Levi. What's up?
Hey.
Hi, let's do this. Welcome back to the Digital Skate Shop YouTube channel. I'm Ivo, and this is Levi. Hi. Hey, let's do a review of the Mesmer skates. We have all the Mesmer skates that are on the market out right now here. And this is, of course, Levi's new pro skate. So in this review, we're going to talk about everything about the Mesmer skates, go into details so that if you buy a Mesmer skate now or in the future, that you know exactly what you get. All right, first topic that we're going to discuss is the brand identity of Mesmer. Levi, do you want to tell a little bit about the Mesmer brand?
Mesmer is founded in 2021 by Billy O'Neill, the OG New York skater.
And you are, of course, one of the team riders of Mesmer. How did you get approached by Billy for this?
Dominic was already on the team. He messaged me and he said like, "Can you call me?" And so we called, and then he asked me if I wanted to ride for Mesmer.
Oh, interesting. So Dominic actually asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told Billy and John that you should get this guy, and I think they didn't even know me before that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it happened.
Awesome. So how does Mesmer differentiate itself from other brands?
I think we have a common look on skating. We all like the same stuff, same music. We're all friends. I think when SSM stopped, a lot of people who were skating missed something, kind of the rock and roll thing. And I think Mesmer filled in that gap.
Yeah, you can really see that. Mesmer has a really clear brand image, a really nice vibe, the rock and roll vibe. And I think that's also what makes a lot of people fall in love with the brand. Yeah. So we're here also about to talk about the skates, and the skates have some history because they use the modified version of the Throne. The Throne has been around since the 90s. Here is one of the original Thrones. I took off the sole plate. The first edition came out in '98, and with that one the frame actually was mounted directly on the shell, and the sole plate was just a little side plate here. And then there were different editions. So like the first detachable frame with 50/50 was on this skate, and later you had this sole plate which was UFS. So here you can mount any like UFS frame, and that was of course since like 2001, 2002. In '98 the shell got changed a little bit because the lacing area used to be a lot slimmer. A lot of the OGs, they really like it, that it was slimmer. So if you find like one of those old shells, it's worth a lot. And the reason for that was because in that time the fat makers were really popular. So people would actually cut off a part of their tongue of their shoe and put it in a skate. And also the UC Cyrus had that, and like that really fat look. And so they had to cut out a little bit of the lacing area to fit the fat makers. All the skates came with fat makers back in the day.
That's funny.
Yeah, your skate does not have one, but
No.
it's possible to put it on. So in 2001 the sole plate became UFS, but also they released like a totally new skate, the UFS Throne. This is kind of like the nephew a little bit of the classic Throne. This was renamed the classic Throne then, and the cuff area is the same, but actually the rest is not the same. So this is just a UFS version, and it's UFS also because it has the shell is flat bottom. It does not have a raised heel, and this one does have a raised heel here. So it's just a little bit kind of like the nephew of the Throne, and it's also called the Throne, but it's not in the same line as the current Mesmers, where you see that these are like really exactly the same skates here, like the toe box. The lacing area is just exactly the same as the old classic Thrones. They kept the classic Thrones until 2015. There was a little bit of a new sole plate. I don't know the exact year, but it was like 2004, I think, with the Aaron Feinberg Pro skate. They had a new wraparound sole plate. People really didn't like that one, so they cut it off to look like the old one. That's a really funny thing. The biggest difference between the Mesmer skates that are on the market now and the old ones is that bottom, where they made the bottom of the skate here look a lot more like a USD Sway or a Dam 909 or a Razor's Cult. So this is, I call it an original mount, because this is more like an ice skate and it's really adaptive. You can put a lot of things on it, a lot of old school frames, they fit on this. And here it's really specific. You have the inserts of these specifically made sole plates. So they shaved the boot and made this one in 2021.
They also have a kit size. It came out in the early 2000s. They made the same shell until 2020, and Mesmer incorporated it in their full size range.
The cool thing about Mesmer is that it's a part of Powerslide, and we're talking about Mesmer and USD now as if it's kind of like the same thing, but these are different brands. So the throne used to be from USD, but USD is also part of Powerslide, so that's why USD and Mesmer can kind of like swap these shells a little bit around. But now USD is not going to use it anymore, and this is now only for Mesmer.
I tried to skate this last week because we were on the lunch break and decided to do some skating. Yeah, the field is fun to skate them. The line is really not comfortable, like not at all. So they were hurting my feet. But skating wise, it's pretty good. The sole plate is a little weird, like the H block.
Well, they changed the sole plate. There you have the one with the. It's called the dual plate. This is called the triple plate. And the triple plate was a lot slimmer than the dual plate. So this is a really nice wide sole plate. I think this was also like mid-zero something when it came out.
Yeah, it's fun. I really miss the groove here.
Yeah.
I kind of like small sole plate as well.
Okay.
The groove is really something I miss.
Yeah. A cool thing about the old thrones is that they have this patch on the cuff, and on each like edition had like a different cuff. So this is I think this is a pro skate, and then these patches, they indicate what type of skate it is, and the cuffs are actually 100% the same on the new skate, but the Mesmers, they don't have the patch.
Yeah, we decided to just print it and pay homage.
Yeah.
Hey, Mesmer Hero.
Ah, okay.
Hey, Mark. Decided to clean it up for a more clean look.
That's a little bit the difference between the old and the new thrones. Now let's move on to the fit of the skate. Okay, that's really important if you want to try the skate, is how it feels on your feet. And how is that for you, Levi? How does this skate compare to others? Because before you skated M12s, for example, what other skates did you skate and how does it compare?
I skated M12s, Adepts, Razors, and these are definitely the most comfortable skates I have. At first, when it came out, we called it, this one example, 38 till 40.
But the first one was actually single sizes. So the first one was like 38, 39, and 40 were three different boxes for each size. It was a different liner. And later it became the dual size.
Yeah, and it was actually not like true to size. So we just updated the size. So there was like 38, 40, and this is a 40, 41. It's definitely true to size now.
Okay.
Like I think a lot of people made a mistake, or we made a mistake, so they were too big. But now it feels really good.
Yeah. So I just put the skate on myself as well, and just to try it one more time, and it was just really comfortable. For me, it feels like true to size, and the width is just normal. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
And right now it's dual sizing, and they shifted the sizes, so yeah, that fixed a lot of issue as well. The only skate that's not dual sizing in this range is the smallest size. So that's the shell of the kit size. There's a 38, 39 liner, and there's a 36, 37 liner for that one as well, and they both use the same shell. Right, that's it for fit. Now let's move on to the liner. It's a little bit related topic. The first liner was single size, and people were not really a fan of it, right?
No.
Yeah, the first liner was actually a lot like this one, where it had the tongue was like this material.
Yeah.
I was not really a fan of that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, and then they changed it to this is like the V2 of the Bolino. Was this better?
Yeah, definitely better than the first one.
Yeah, but there's still also, if you feel just in front with your finger, you can feel that there's some extra space between the front of the liner and the shell. So the shell was not really maximized.
No, and every skate they changed it and it feels better and better.
Yeah.
The first time we skated this was on the mesmerizing trip. We only got the skates at the first day of the trip, so nobody tried it before that. Yeah, it was kind of scary. A liner that was in my skate that I got, it was two left liners, so I was skating like 2 left liners for the first 2 days.
Wow. So you did all those tricks.
Yeah, and like the liner didn't fit at all, so I was like moving around in the boot, and it was not that nice.
And that makes those tricks extra hard. If you want to see this video, I highly recommend it. It's called Mesmer Rising. That's the introduction video of Mesmer in 2001. And Mesmer in general is making a lot of great content. I think that's what sets it apart a little bit from other brands as well. So talking about the liner, different brands do this in different ways, where sometimes there's like a specific liner for pro skates and there's a specific liner for basic skates. But for Mesmer in general, all the liners for each edition, whether it's a pro skate or a team skate, is the same. And they just have historically now just updated the liner along the way. Do you think in the future that this liner will stick around? The current liner? Because the current liner improved a lot.
I hope so, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, I break it in like in 1 day.
Okay.
And like this one, I sometimes don't even break in at all.
Yeah.
Maybe need to change it, but only if it gets better and better.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like really perfect. It fills up the whole shell. It's comfortable. The height is perfect, and it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
Like
it lasts.
Yeah, I've been skating the same liner for honestly since February. And
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still looks good. So, and you skate a lot, so
yeah,
that's great. Well, this liner reminds me of the MyFit Second Skin a lot. If you just look at it like this, it looks like MyFit Second Skin exactly. Interesting thing about the MyFit Second Skin is that it has this butterfly wrap, and the MyFit liners do not have it. So sometimes we have one extra and we put it online, so you can sometimes buy it on thisisall.com. Of course, if you want to get any of these products, it's all available on thisisall.com. But it's an interesting feature that there's like Velcro here and Velcro here on this liner, but it's not like utilized. So you can actually like stick stuff on it, and this can improve the fit. It's not for everybody, but if you want to have less heel raise, for example, you can put on a butterfly like this, but it also relieves pressure points. So sometimes if you have a pressure point on your ankle, then putting this on it relieves the pressure on the ankle. So that's an interesting thing about this liner. And then the tongue of the liner is actually the same as the USD Aeon and USD Sway team skates. So it's kind of like a mix and match of 2 different other MyFit liners.
and they're also heat moldable.
Do you do that? Do you heat mold it?
No, it's not necessary for me. Actually.
Okay.
Feels great straight away.
Yeah.
And I usually like if I get a new pair, I usually use the old liner because I just like old liners the best. And of course, because we're working with Power Slide Matthias, we have a lot of resources in our liners. So I think Martin Denning worked on these liners a lot.
Oh.
I think he's also on the team. They killed it with him.
Oh, that's cool that Martin worked on it. Well, the liner really makes the skate sometimes. When you have the thrown shell, you put in any different liners. If you want to change the liner, you can, of course. Next topics are the laces.
We choose for wax laces, so you can tighten them.
Yeah, these feel really good as well.
Yeah, I'm using the hockey skate technique, so you can get more support on the heel.
Yeah.
And of course it comes with a little, I don't know what it's called, laces plate.
And it's interesting that this one also has that insert, but then the previous team skate and the
Dominic's.
yeah, they don't have it. Is this something that all Mesmer's gonna have from now on, you think?
Probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. I like it. Yeah. All right. Next topic is the flex of the skate.
The flex is different on every skate because the PU is different. The first skate, the Jambolino, the plastic is pretty soft.
Oh yeah.
Then they made the white one, and it's really hard, comparable to the other ones. The gray one is also really stiff. For me, it's a little bit too stiff. I like it more flexible. Dom skate is more flexible, and my skate as well, and that works better for me.
Did you choose that for your pro skate? That you were like, I want to have this type of flexy material?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Then there's the forward flex, and we have a forward flex scale, which you know. How does this compare to that forward flex scale that we have?
Yeah, the forward flex is it's a little bit stiffer than like an M12. On my skate, it's I think because this plastic is softer, this forward flex is even more stiff.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the sideways flex. How does this skate work with big wheels? If you want to put big wheels on it, then the sideways flex becomes really important.
It's there, but if you don't want to get bigger than 100, I think.
Yeah,
Then-
bigger than
then-
100 for sure. Not
Then it's that's
maybe bigger than 80 is already too on this skate. Right?
I have a setup with 90s, and it's actually pretty okay. It's on the black one.
So I made a special setup for Levi where we have a frame directly mounted to the boot. So you can use this original mount bottom to put a frame directly on it. So I made one for your birthday actually. If you do that, then it's a lot stiffer. But if you have the sole plate, then that adds some sideways flex. And the sole plate is pretty thick as well. There's this rubbery thing. Because of the extra height of the thickness of the sole plate, that's also adds some extra leverage. So in general, this skate is not, if you want to have really big wheels, it's not the best boot, but if you want to have some bigger wheels like 72 or 80, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I think if you want to skate big wheels, you should get the white one or the gray ones because they're
Okay.
really stiff. And
Is that in general that the pro skates are going to be more flexy, you think, in the future as well?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's. I think this plastic is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And maybe choose it on the pro skate.
Okay.
That's the reason. I think.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, the flexure plastic is more is more expensive. That's true.
Yeah, to go back on the little padding here, I love it so much.
Yeah.
If you land, the sound is great. You skate like flat with the plastic thing in it.
Yeah.
It gives like the best sound ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solid.
The first skate that had that was the Valo skates, I think, because they had like the skin over the shell,
Oh.
and especially in Valo for Life, in that movie, the audio in that movie is so good that every time somebody lands, you can just hear that like solid sound.
I love that.
And yeah, that's what made a lot of people fall in love with this as well. And the clacky, you don't want to have a skate that sounds like this. You want it more solid. And this thing does that. That's really good.
Yeah, it also doesn't squeak. I love it.
Ah,
Doesn't make any weird noises when you're skating around. I hate it.
hey, let's move on to the sole plate. Now we're just talking about it. So one cool thing about the sole plate is that rubbery material. We were talking about the backslide groove before as well. I like a backslide groove that's like that dual plate. But that's also my history. I have been skating the UFS Throne a lot, 20 years ago. But I'm used to having a perfect groove like this, right in the middle.
Yeah.
For those backslide and royale tricks. But
It will get there. Like if you check this groove, I skated I think a round curve, so it's edged off a little bit. But if I get a new pair, I just go to the roughest curve there is, and then I get like a nice.
so this sole plate looks like an SSM sole plate a little bit.
Yeah,
In a way. And the SSM was famous for their create your own groove marketing. Do you know about this?
No.
You have not heard about this? Okay, this is one of the most interesting marketing tricks in inline skating ever, because when the NIM was like the predecessor of SSM, when that first came out, it was advertised as you had to make your own groove because the sole plate was actually really flat. And back in that time, some people actually liked that as well. So it was a marketing that hit as well, like people accepted it. But only when NIM and SSM died, there was a podcast with one of the owners, and he said that this was actually a marketing joke, which a lot of people fell for.
Smart man.
Because it was a production error that there was no groove. They designed it with the perfect groove, is right in the right spot, but they got the skates and the production was ready and it didn't have a groove. So they just said like, oh, you have to create your own groove. And now, like 15 years later, we have a Mesmer sole plate that looks like a sole plate that needs to. So that's how good their marketing was. It looks like an M12, where it's wide here and then it goes slimmer. So here's also the same. It's wide and then it goes slimmer. Also resembles that a little bit. Maybe on your next pro skate you're gonna have a nice perfect groove here.
Create your own, man.
Awesome.
No, I really love to create my own, and I
Cool.
really love just looking at it. I think it's so satisfying, a good groove.
Yeah, there's something about your own groove Like that ground control movie, like every groove has a story to tell.
Nice.
At first, John Bellino skate, the plastic of the sole plate was softer, gets worn out really fast.
Yeah.
And now they made the quality better, and they made it harder, and the quality is way better. I think I can skate it like 3 times as long now.
We sold a lot of those sole plates, especially the white ones,
Yeah.
because they were wearing down so quickly. One of the cool things about these sole plates actually is that it fits on a lot of skates. So I've been talking about this original mount, the ice skating standard, and we have the sole plate here. So you have this basic like low in the front, raised heel type of architecture within aggressive inline skating and recreational inline skating. So about like 6 skates have it in aggressive skating right now. It's like a Throne, a Cult, a 909, USD Sway, Fifth Element, and the M12 of course have it as well. So I made a video about trying what sole plates fit on what skate. So I took off all the sole plates of all those 6 skates and put every size on each other of those different skates and see if they match. And the Mesmer sole plate was the one sole plate that would fit on the most other skates. So this is really kind of like the most universal sole plate on the market. You can fit it on a lot of other boots. If you want to know on what skates it would fit, you can find it probably on our website if you go to the sole plate itself, but also we have a video about it, so you can check it out on YouTube.
And of course, the cool thing about the Mesmer sole plates is the drawing. It's John Bellino who came up with that. He is also a skateboarder, so he probably based it on a skateboard, like they have drawings. So that's a really cool feature. So we have this one. Dominic created his own one. He made some cool drawings. I really like the quote, all things must fade. Because it's gonna fade, of course. We got mine, it's faded. I'm gonna make a video about my skate as well. So I'm gonna tell you more about the drawing and where it comes from.
Then one more thing about the sole plates is that there's wheel wells. These are kind of like cutouts here. So also here in the middle, actually. So for some skates that have the high-low setup, the outer wheels are so big that it goes out of this line here, so it goes even more above it, and then it goes inside the sole plate. And if you want that on some of the sole plates, you need to grind it out yourself with a Dremel, for example. And for this one, it's already there. So that's a nice feature if you want to have something like the whiz frames. Old Thrones, they did not have a sole plate that was kind of like a wraparound sole plate. You see that it was sticking out here, but the shell on the backside is actually going out further than the sole plate here, and it was a straight line. So I've seen some people cutting down the back of the Mesmer sole plate to resemble the old Classic Throne sole plate, but it might save some weight if it's aesthetically more pleasing. That's up to you, of course. So this sole plate fits on some other skates as well, but some other sole plates fit on this skate. For example, the Dam sole plate in some sizes fit, and the Fifth Element also, that sole plate fits on this shell. So if you want to have a different sole plate on this skate, you can, not in all sizes. If you want to know what sizes work, check it out on our website. Okay, next topic is the cuffs. Well, we already talked about it a little bit. It's the same cuff as the Classic Throne and the UFS Throne. So this cuff has been around. Fun thing about this cuff is that it has been around for so long. There's a lot of different colors on the market. For example, we still have a golden one. There's also a glow-in-the-dark version that you can put on, so you can skate in the dark. Also, there's different like straight cut and V cuts. And V cut, or now it's actually called a U cut by Mesmer.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but back in the day when it was USD, it was called a V cut. This is the V cut where it goes down here. The Levi skate also has a V cut, but the Bellino has a straight cut.
Yeah, and Dominic as well.
Yeah. How do you think this is chosen, whether there's a V cut or not?
So we choose a U cut, so you got more like backwards flex. So if you like a deep sweaty or like
Yeah.
for grinding, it's more for grinding than jumping, I think.
Yeah. Well, if you push, you also extend your foot.
Yeah.
So just general skating as well. So sometimes it can help. Also, it's necessary, or it's not really necessary. You don't really notice a really big difference, I think, between these two.
No, not really.
Yeah,
I
but
think it looks more
it's
beautiful.
it's a small effect, and the effect is necessary because the cuff perfectly fits in the shell here in this shape. So you cannot pull this cuff backwards, and on an M12, for example, it's not stopped by the shell, so you can actually pull it back, and if you pull twice as hard, you'll put it back even more. So there's kind of like a natural backwards flex, and the throne does not have that. It's stopped, so the V-cut kind of like compensates for that a little bit.
We also worked on the overextending cuff. I never had any problems with it, but some people did. With a lot of strength, you can see it. But with my skate, no, doesn't.
Solid.
Yeah,
Nice.
will not happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the cuff goes over this edge and stays there. I never had it, and it will definitely not happen with the new cuff.
Next topic is the buckle. The first one, this was the kind of like a standard power side buckle. This is also on the next. And this buckle is a little bit weak. I'm not a fan of this buckle. It bends. Then the Dominic one has the same one, but then now this team skate has it as well, but now it's got changed to the new Kaiser buckle. So you think this Kaiser buckle will be the new standard for the next couple of editions as well?
I think so. I think we always work on new stuff.
Yeah.
I think we can improve it on some points, but it's definitely better than the first one.
Yeah, it's really long, so you can close it really nice, and there's a protector here. So it's actually integrated in the mounting that there's a little bit of a protection for the buckle, so that's nice as well.
I think they also used on the sway, on the Michael Whitson bands, also on the icons.
The buckle is an SBM 3, so it's a standard buckle mount SBM, and it has 3 bolts, one, 2, and then 3 on the inside. So that's why we call it an SBM 3, and that's kind of like it's a standard. So that means that almost all skates that we sell here at this soul that you see behind us, they all have the SBM 3 standard. At least if it's listed in our product specs on our website, you can see that if a skate has an SBM 3 or not. And also if you want to buy any aftermarket buckle on thisissoul.com, it's listed as an SBM 3, then it will fit on this skate. So you can put on loads of different buckles, but I wouldn't change this one because it's really good. Nice thing is that the buckle goes inside of the cuff. If your buckle is too long, you can just cut it off. If you take a really nice pair of scissors or one of those things that you do in the garden for the trees.
I use that.
Yeah, you can cut it off. Interesting thing about this skate as well is that it doesn't have like cuff flaps. If we're talking about the cuff still a little bit, I like that. Because they usually just sit in the way. Those flaps are a little bit annoying.
Why do they make it, by the way?
It's stiffer. If you have a cuff with those...
Plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And the throne is it's a little bit special if we're talking about flex and buckle and cuff, in that a part of the flex comes from the buckle. See this? You can flex the buckle a little bit. And this also has to do with the forward-facing receptor here, and the leg of the flaps of the cuff. Change the flex a lot if you just loosen the buckle a little bit. You have a lot more flex with this skate as well, because the flex comes from the buckle in a bigger degree than on other skates.
So we got the design of the curveball is a spiral. And mine and Dominic's are matching, so that's really cute. And it's just already a classic design. I really love it.
This is of course also the logo for Mesmer, where it's like mesmerizing.
You get mesmerized by it.
Yeah, exactly. If it's rotating, yeah.
Don't look at it too much. It looks really cool if you tighten it or loosen it. It's like...
Oh shit, stop it. No. Alright, next topic is the frame. Well, you have your Pro frame here.
Yeah.
And it has Pro wheels, so that's nice. All Mesmer skates come with the Kaiser Fluid 5 frame, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
And some as a boot only. The Fluid 5 is just one of the best flat frames out there right now, I think.
I really love it.
Yeah.
The first day I skated it, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It's really good for flat. I was skating the Roaches frame. I don't know the name of the frame.
First Roaches had only this frame, and
Yeah.
then they made that frame, and it was called the second edition.
Yeah, it's also pretty good, but I definitely get less hang-ups with this one. It's really good.
Because the wall protection here is really thick. That's what you want. The thicker the frame is here, the better the wheel is protected from your grinding area.
Yeah, and they last long.
Will Mesmer ever come out with an anti-rocker skate?
I think everybody on the team is skating flat, so I don't think so, but we might.
All frames, all aggressive skate frames fit on this sole plate. It's called a universal frame standard. This distance between these two holes is the same for all sizes, so you can even put like a frame that's normally on like a size 46. You can put it on a skate that's a size 36. It's all the same, and all the brands. It would not look great. Maybe it has to depend on the frame length. And what's the right frame length? That's also a personal choice. Some people like long frames, some people like short frames. There's no like real sizing in that way. Normally your wheel sticks out a little bit. I like that. If your wheel sticks out a little bit, you can see the front. Yeah. Also, so you can put some bigger wheels on it, or high-low frames, or anti-rocker, or flat. It's fun to play around with that. So next topic in the frames are of course the wheels. And that's an interesting surprise is that you also got a pro wheel now.
It's like 60 millimeters. It's 92 on the outside, 95 on the inside.
Oh.
So if you get a hang up, it slides better. So you get stuck less. Chose marble for my wheels. Like marble, lava.
And that's interesting because the Bolino does not have marble, and then the Team Skate also does not have marble, but the Dominic Bruce wheels actually are also marble, but you just really don't see it.
You see
So
it
here
more
see
if you
like the
skate it,
weight,
actually.
yeah, the white and the yellow. Yeah, here a little bit. Yeah, but I didn't notice it before your skate had the marble.
Ah, that's fun.
Yeah.
And you don't see it, but like if they're new, they're like pink, purple, and if you skate it, it becomes more yellow and almost brownish, like my skate.
Is the marble something that all pro skates will have, or will the Team Skates also have marble in the future?
You can choose yourself if you
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
I don't know the plan on the next wheels, but it's not a thing that we always gonna do. Or
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing about Mesmer is that there's just no real distinction between like pro skates in the liner or in like the wheel quality, or it's kind of like doesn't matter if you have like a pro skate or a team skate in any of the quality parts. It's just only the vibe. It's really like a brand that's driven by the feeling behind the skate, and that's interesting to me.
Yeah, the plastic is different.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. That's the one thing then.
It comes with ABAC 9 wicket bearings. They're really fast and really good, and they last a long time.
Yeah, it's just the bearing. Yeah.
Just bearing.
It works. It rolls. So it's good. Yeah, that's probably the least important thing about the skate is that. Next topic is customizing the skate. So we already pointed out a few things, like the color technology is really interesting for the skate because it's been around for so long. You can of course put any liner in it and any laces and any wheel and any frame, but the cuff, there's so many different cuffs that you can choose. There's green ones for the Ahoy one. There's been red and blue, yellow for the Demetrius George skate. So you can find these. Maybe if you could just buy like an old classic throne as a complete, you can take off the cuff and put it on your current Mesmer. If you want to customize it, of course.
Yeah, it's funny when we pack orders. I see a lot of people buying Mesmers and then like like an old cuff,
Yeah.
like a Billy O'Neill cuff
Yeah.
or the golden one.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. A lot of people want to do that.
And we also have a lot of these sole plates. And like we have, that's also interesting for Mesmer is that like all the sole plates, no, only for the pro skates, the gray ones and the white ones, the gray ones did not come out with. Right? At least there's a lot of different colors of all the parts available also for the sole plates. And also interesting is that the shells are also available separate. So you can actually build up your own Mesmer skate by getting a cuff, or maybe you still have like an old throne cuff at home. You just need to have the sole plate and the shell, and then you have a Mesmer skate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can kind of like build your own. That's cool. All these parts are interchangeable, and also it's funny that the Throne was one of the first skates ever that had like cuff bolts that can be taken out and had like replaceable cuffs and replaceable sole plates, and that whole replaceable aspect of the Throne late 90s is still there right now with Mesmer, so that's kind of cool to see. Are there any things that you would consider customizing on the skate?
No, really, actually. It's fun to play around with colors.
Yeah.
I would love to see a setup with like a black cuff, black sole plate, and just a brown boot. I would love to see this to get a baby. Like,
What would you put then, like cream sole plate and the cream frame on your boot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think John Blino is skating there right now. It looks pretty cool. And it's just fun around to play with it.
Here's another Mesmer colorway that I made with the white liner and white bolts. I also like this one. Also, the laces are exactly the same color as the shell. So yeah, that's cool. And all these parts are available, so that's nice. Of course, the liner, it's a great liner, works well in the skate, but if you want to have a stiffer liner, then the Intuition liner is really nice. It's really a responsible liner, so a lot of people upgrade to the Intuition liner. And one thing that we didn't talk about yet is the insole. I am really a fan of the Superfeet insoles, and this insole is just a little bit weak and it doesn't have any heel support. So if you want to have more control over your foot, then it's nice if your foot is locked in this position with a nice heel cup. So if you want to have that, then you can change it to a Superfeet insole. It also has a nice graphic. We're going to talk more about the graphic in a full review of just your skate, where you go into details about your skate, right?
Yeah.
And we're actually now waiting on your skates to arrive. It could be any moment. I hoped it would be in the middle of filming this. So a Power Slide fan can drop 2 pallets of Levi skates here any moment. Next thing, we're going to review his skate. And for all the pre-orders, they're going to be sent out today or tomorrow. Last thing I want to talk about is the shock absorber. I have always skated the Throne myself back in the day without the shock absorber. Now there's a shock absorber under the liner. Do you use it?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, a Superfeet insole is also a nice shock absorber because it protects your whole foot in this hard cup, so any impact is absorbed over your whole foot instead of just like the middle of your heel. But you can play around with it if you want to have a softer or a harder shock absorber, or not one at all. So you can just take it off easily off this liner. Those are all the things I think for the Mesmer skate. If we missed anything, drop it in the comments. If you have any questions for me or Levi, drop it in the comments as well. If you like content like this, then check out our YouTube channel. We'll make a new video like this every week. So subscribe to the channel and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Mooi.
Ja, nice.
Ging goed man.
Ja.
Ja.
Wel leuk. Af en toe een beetje, vind ik gewoon moeilijk om over...
Maar ik zag het
week
gedurende...
Jij moet om 2 uur zijn.
Ik?
Oh, Isa, de brede school, de kraal.
Die geef ik niet eerst. Gedurende de video ging het steeds beter.